Yo, what's good, guys? This is Theo here. Welcome back to part 3 of Free Code Camp, backend development, building a voting application. So I'll go ahead and bring it up for you guys. If we go here, Free Code Camp. So we're going to work on the login section. So let me bring up my shell and let me open up Mongod for our server, and let me run sudo mongo to open up the shell. Let me go ahead and change directory into my desktop and change directory into FCC voting. Let me open this with the Sublime Text editor, and let's go ahead and pick up where we let's pick up where we left off. Okay, so let me open up my server. And let me start the application again. Nodemon server.js. Okay, there we go. Refresh this. And if I recall, we have successfully registered our users. Let me see if we have some in our database. So I'll be show DBs, use free code camp voting. And let me clear that out, make this a little bit bigger for us, and I will do db.users.find.pretty. I'll run that query against the database, and we have 3 users. Awesome. So now that we have our users, let's sort of look at our front end in our app.js, and what we want to do at this point. If we get this response, we know that there's a token that's provided with the response. We want to store this in the window local storage. So let me go ahead and try this out. So I'm going to say test and tester as the password and click register here. And here we go. We're getting a response back, and inside of the data we have this really long string that's separated on some dots, if you can sort of see them. Let me see if I can find one in here. Here's one, right? And remember, the first one, if you split it on that, is the payload, and then you have the secret, and then you also have sort of the expiration that's being sent. So assuming that we get this response, right, what I want to do, I want to use the window service, and I want to say window.local storage. And I want to set a property on here called token, and I want to set that equal to response.data. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this out one more time. I'm going to say Rick, and Rick as the password. I want to hit register here. Okay, so it looks like it's worked. If we go into application, we click local storage here, we open this up, we are now seeing we get this token with the value of the JavaScript web token. Awesome. After we've stored that, what I'd like to do, I'd like to go ahead and use the location service and redirect to the profile route. Okay. So let's try this out again. Let's try an error. Let's try Rick and Rick. If I click register now, we will get a duplicate error. Cool. So if I try Jim and Jim as a register, and I submit, here we go. We're now on the profile controller, and still, what's it telling me in the console? API register, bad request. Oh, that was for the, yeah. So now if we go to our application and local storage, we still are seeing this token being persisted. So let's go ahead and look in our profile controller about how to go about getting this token, and I'm going to show you. So we brought in this module at the very beginning, the Angular JWT service or module, and that provides us a service called JWT helper that we can take advantage of. And this JWT helper method has a method on it called Decode Token. So I can store token here as window.localstorage.token, and I can say var payload is equal to JWT helper.decode token. We'll pass it the token, and then we want the data object out of that. So if that is a thing, if that exists, let's go ahead and log the payload out. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to refresh. Here we go. All right. So it's decoded our payload, and we're getting everything nicely in an object there. There are ways to do it without using that helper. You can actually use a native function to the window called ATOB, ASCII to binary, and then you can split. But just for simplicity, we're going to use the JWT helper. Awesome. So here, I'm just going to say, if there is a payload, then what I want to do, I want to set a property called vm.user. I'm going to set that to null starting out. And here, I'm just going to say vm.user equals payload. And now we will go back to our templates, go to profile here. We could do a little horizontal rule, and we'll do a h3, and we'll say welcome back. And let's bind the contents of vm.user.name. And if all of this works, let's refresh. Here we go. Welcome back. And let me see, why did it not work? vm.user.name. Let me log this out and see where I went wrong. vm.user. Let me just console.log. Let me figure out why this is not working. vm.user. Refresh here. And welcome back, Jim. Okay, so there you go. This is working. And let me get rid of this console.log. Refresh this. There you go, Jim. And awesome. So let me actually clear this. Let me clear this token. Awesome. So now we're not going to get anything. We'll probably get an error. Cannot read property of split of undefined. But we'll take care of that in a minute. But now what I can do, I can go ahead and register with maybe Lawrence as a name, and we'll just say test. Click register. Here we go. Welcome back, Lawrence. So now we're getting that fluid transition. So let's figure out the login now that we have our register set up. So I'm going to grab the contents of this HTML file. I'm going to go into our login, and here we go. And all I need to change really is login. Change this to vm.login. And we're going to go back to app.js. We are going to go to our login controller. I am going to set a method here called vm.login, which is just a function. And we're going to say if vm.user, else, it's just console.log, no credentials supplied, just some more validation. And what we can do here, let's go ahead and inject in the HTTP service. And by using this service, we'll make a call to our API, HTTP post to API/login. We'll pass along the vm.user as the payload. And then we'll call .then, which will return a promise from this post. And when we get the contents of that promise back, we'll either get a response, or a successful response, or an error. If there is an error, I'm just going to set property of vm.error right here. And I'm going to say vm.error equals error. I'm going to go into, there we go, it's already bound. And then if there's a response, let's just log the response right here. And success in logging in. Awesome. So very similar to our register route. But I'm going to go ahead and build this out right here for you guys. Be login. So we're going to do a router.post to /login. And again, Express is going to pass us the request and the response objects when this route is hit as the callback in the callback function. So we'll just say if request.body.name and request.body.password. If these two exist, otherwise we'll immediately return with a status of 400, and we'll send please enter valid credentials. So just fill everything out. It probably wouldn't get to that point, but maybe if the the client was tampering with it, someone wanted to enter some malicious data into our database. So let's sort of write this route out and think about what we need to do. What we need to do basically is run a query, and I'm going to do user.find1. This is a method that Mongo provides us, and I'm going to query off the basis that name is equal to request.body.name, and we can do this because I've set name as to be unique. Again, we could do find by ID, it doesn't matter. But at that point, you might not have the ID, right? So this is a better solution. So that's going to be the first parameter. Second is going to be a callback function that's either going to return to us an error or a user. So in the case that there's an error and we haven't found a user, let's go ahead and return with a response status of 400, and we'll send an error has occurred. Please try again. And there's also another scenario, right? So what if someone tries to log in but they don't actually have an account? This might occur just if you have a bad connection to the database, but also, right, maybe there's not a specific error, but what if there isn't actually a document that's coming back? We got to check for that as well. So in this case, we'll return with a response.status of 404, and we'll send no user has been registered with these credentials, right? And obviously we might change that to be a little less revealing in a production environment, but for now it's fine. So right, in the case that there is a user, we're going to say, here's where we're going to use bcrypt. I'm going to say if bcrypt, and we're going to say .compare sync. So we're running a synchronous function, and what we compare is the request.body.password with the user.password. So behind the scenes, bcrypt is going to hash this, and it's going to decode this basically, or maybe not decode this, it's just going to match up these two. So it's going to hash this and make sure it's equal to that. So if this is the case, right, this means the passwords match. So we'll go ahead and return with a response of 200 .send, and we want to send along the user. Otherwise, right, if they don't match, let's go ahead and return with a response status of 400. Let's go ahead and send along password is not correct, right? So now we're following the design principle of sort of responding at every angle from our API. Cool. So there you go. That's our API route set up, and we're not getting any errors right now. So let me go ahead and clear this token out. We can sort of see now what we get, right? So here's our login route, and let me try with a user that does not exist, like Tina and test. So click login now. Here we go. No user has been registered with these credentials. Okay, that's good. What if we try with, let's see, another one that we have is, let's see, I'm trying to think who else we have in the database. Liam and Liam. Here we go. So we click login now, or Liam's. What will we get? We get password is not correct. So we're testing all of our API scenarios. But if we enter the correct password and we click login, what are we going to get? Possibly unhandled rejection. Let's sort of think what we're getting. We're going to post to API login. So maybe that's not the right password. Let me just register someone real quick. And we'll register, I don't know, William and test. Here we go. That works. And let me click login. And we'll do William and test. And then what do we get here? We get possibly unhandled rejection. Let me figure this out. Okay, so fair. Okay, let's go back to app.js. Console log response. User. Okay, so let's sort of log out where we are, just to sort of see where we're getting in our API. Console log error with DB console log no user console.log passwords match, and then here we'll just console.log invalid password. So let me open up my terminal now, and we can sort of look at this again, sort of see where we're getting. So let's try this out again. And passwords match, so they do match. And we're returning with response.status.send. We're sending the user. Okay, so why does that give me an error here? Console log response. Success in logging in. And function response. Function error. Yeah, I'm not sure why I'm getting an error then. That's kind of weird. Let's figure this out real quick. Let me get rid of this token. Let me go back to login, and we'll change this to William and test. We will run in our console, click login, possibly unhandled rejection, passwords match, but I'm not getting any data back. Huh. Oh, sorry, response. Okay, so let's try this one more time. Here we go. Let me refresh that. William and test. Okay, so success in logging in, and we've got our data object back with all of that stuff. We've forgotten to do one more thing, and that is assigning a JavaScript web token. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go back to our, if I can get my mouse back. Let's go back to our API. And in this case, what we want to do instead of sending a user, I'm going to build out a token, and we're going to say jwt.sign. First parameter, data, is going to be the user. And then remember, second is going to be process.environment.secret. The third will be an object that you can pass some configuration to. I'm going to say expires in 3600, so 1 hour. And here we'll send back the token. So with all of that, let me go ahead and clear my token. Well, I guess it's not set. Go back to login. Console.log, William, and test. Here we go, we're logging in. Now our data object is a JavaScript web token, so it's a lot more secure. Cool. Awesome. So it's pretty cool. So sort of same sort of thing, right? Now if we get this response, what do we want to do with it? We want to use the Windows service, grab local storage, grab token, and set the response.data. And then what we also would like to do, let me go back to inspect and go to console. We've got an object response.data. Okay, cool. Now what I can do here is use location service and redirect the user to their profile. So with all of that in place, I'm just going to go and clear out our database real quick and show you how this will work. Or sorry, I don't know why I did that. Let me actually, no, we don't need to clear it out. It's fine. So let's try this out with William and test. Here we go. We're going to click login. Welcome back, William. So our login route works, our register route works, and our profile route works. So now let's go about actually securing these endpoints of profile, so a user can't actually access the profile endpoint if they are not logged in or registered. So we don't want them to tamper with that. So what I can do actually is do a lot of this in the app.run function, and I'm going to pass in HTTP and root scope here, and I'm going to do a few things. First, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. AngularJS, and I'm going to go to HTTP service headers. I forget the exact details of this, but what I'm going to do basically is I'm going to set on the HTTP, I'm going to set a header. Here we go. This is the one I want. That is going to pass along the JavaScript web token on each request so that we can indeed verify. So I'm going to say http.defaults.header.common.authorization, and ours is not going to be basic, it's going to be a bearer, and it's also going to be the window.localstorage.token. Next up, what we can do, so basically I'm going to show you how this will work, but I'm also going to do root scope. I'm going to use the root scope, and I'm going to say .on, and this is going to be route change start. So this is an event with root scope. This takes in a callback function with event next route and current route. And all I'm going to do here is take advantage of the state on these routes, and I'm going to say if next route dot access dot restricted is not equal to undefined, and next route dot access dot restricted is equal to true. So and also if there's not a window, if there's not a token, right? So let me think. So if it's restricted, and I guess, yeah, if there is a token, we still want to verify it, right? So yeah, what we can do is we're going to actually make a HTTP, let's see, and then also right here what we can do, if next route dot access dot restricted is equal to true, and next route and there's not a window dot local storage dot token, we're going to run event dot prevent default. And what I want to do is just use the location service really quickly. And so again, I got this from the video I was watching, and then I'm just going to redirect them back to login so that they're forced to sign in. Cool. But if there is a token, we want to verify this token. So I'm going to run a http.get /API/verify, and with this, okay, with the response that we get back, right? If we get back a positive response at 200, let's just say your token is valid. Obviously, we'll take this out in production, but then if there's an error, what I want to do, I want to go ahead and delete the window.localstorage.tokens, so to prevent further, requests to my API. And then I'm also going to run location.path to log in. Cool. So with that in place, let's go ahead and build out our API route here. And so let me do this. I'm going to say verification of token. This is going to be a router.get to /verify, and this will be a rec and a res. And basically what I'm going to check here, I'm going to say if request.headers.authorization. Well, first let me console.log the headers. Request headers. We will see if it's actually coming through. So let me try and run this now. Let me open this up and let me refresh here. Here we go. And window is not defined. Sorry, let me bring that in. And bring in the window service. Okay, cool. Let's refresh. Here we go. And if we look at our node window, here's the headers, and we have authorization bearer, and there's our token. So now that we have our token, let me go back to our API, and I'm going to say var headers var token is going to be equal to request.headers dot, make sure I got this right, dot authorization. And then we also want to split on the line break, and then we want one, and then just console.log the token. So let me try this again and run this. All right, here we go. Let's run this. Now we are getting, what are we getting here? Console.log token, request.headers.authorization.split. Let me make sure. So I'm just going to say token plus token. All right, run this again. Or sorry, let me go to profile. And token is undefined. Is it undefined? Yeah, okay. So now we'll say William and Bill. Click login. Here we go. Or sorry, test, was it? Okay, yeah, there you go. And now for, why is it saying token is undefined? Request.headers.authorization. Let me just make sure it's, all right, so William and test. Run this again. Here we go. And token bearer undefined. What the heck? It's kind of weird. Let me see. Let me look real quick at my GitHub and see how I did this real quick. So we're going to go to voting application, and this will be public index, or sorry, app.js. Let me make sure I got these right. So we want if next route and not window.localstorage.token. So maybe I need that for the first one. And then, yeah, so that might need to be the first. I might need to change that to meet that condition instead. Yeah, if it's not undefined, it's equal to true, and there's not a token, right? Then we're going to redirect them. But the other one is window.localstorage, and it's true. Yeah, so if there is a token, all right, and access is equal to true. Okay, so let me try that real quick. And we'll do William test, click login, and let's go back here, and we're getting token bearer undefined. p.defaults.header.common plus bearer, and then let me see real quick. Defaults.header.common window.localstorage default.headers.common. Yeah, that should be it. Common, and then I don't know why we're getting request.headers. Yeah, that should be right. All right, let me try one more time. And we'll do William test. Quick login here. Open this up, and we're getting an object. Okay, that's better. Let me log out the token and try again. So William test. Here we go. Open this back up. Token dot authorization and bearer is undefined. Huh. That's kind of strange. Bearer is undefined. Route change start. Headers.common. API. Alright, let me look real quick back at my code. And let's go back to our routes API, and here's the verified token. Request.headers, if header, header.split, request.headers.authorization. But no, this is the verify. Let me think how I did the verify route. So we did verify token, request.body.token. I'm trying to think. So did I pass along the token? I think I know what I did wrong then. Okay, so let me go back to public, go to app.js. That's what I did. Oh, I passed along the token. Okay, because yeah, it's possible it couldn't be. It might not be set then. Okay, so with that, now I understand. This is actually going to be a post. We're gonna post with the token, and so to do that, I'm gonna say we build out this object here where token is going to be equal to window.localstorage.token. And if that's the case, let me go back to our API. And here, what I want to do, I just want to const.log request.body.token. Make sure we can get this. It's going to be a post. Change that. Sorry about that, guys. And shouldn't need that anymore. So let me go ahead and refresh this. William, test. Here we go. And now we get, trying to think, what is our, did I log it out still? Request.body.token. And we were getting, what do we got now? We got a post API login. And, okay, so API, we got a router.post to verify. HTTP.post to API verify. Why is it not running it though? It's a little weird. What's the error? X route is not defined. Okay, let me figure this out. Oh, sorry, next route. Okay, I guess I deleted that real quick. So let me run this. Here we go. And what we get now, we get our token as the request.body.token. Cool. So now we can run another method that the JavaScript basically will just say if not request.body.token. Let's go ahead and kick them out. So we'll say response.status 400, and we'll send along invalid token, or we'll just say no token has been provided, right? And that's the reason. Otherwise, we're going to do a method here on the JavaScript web token. So what you do here, this takes in the request.body.token, and this will give us back either an error or a decoded token. If there's an error, let's go ahead and return with a response.status of 400, and we'll just say error with token. Otherwise, let's go ahead and return with a response.status of 200. We'll go ahead and send the decoded information. So let's try this out one more time. Here we go. We're going to go back to login. We're going to say William test. Here we go. We're going to log in. And API verify internal server error. Let me figure this out. So what is happening now? Secret must be, oh, sorry, I have to pass in the secret. My bad. So this will take in verify, the token, the process.environment.secret, and then it will hand us back. Okay, so with all of that, maybe we can get it this time. William and test. Here we go, log in. Your token is valid. Awesome. So we actually, yeah, we're getting this, and we're going to keep getting this every time it's going to post just to verify. Right, but if we, if we don't have a token and we go ahead and refresh here, we're going to get kicked back out to the login page, and we're going to keep getting kicked out because we don't have a persistent login. All right, cool. Your token is valid. All right. let me see. I think I want to do one more thing before I wrap this part up. This will be used when we want to, when we post using this authorization bearer. But basically, this was just to set up, some more front-end validation of, not allowing users to get in when we don't want them to have access to a route. So that was it for part 3, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and please subscribe and support the channel. It means a lot. So thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day. I will see you in part 4. Take care.